Hi, everybody. I'm Betty with Stewart Title, and I'm really excited to share this new video series with you where we'll be interviewing veteran industry professionals who can share with us some information and tips of what's going on in the local market and in our communities. So today's guests, I'm really excited. We have 4 realtors who've been in the business quite a while and are rock stars at what they do. So we're gonna allow each of them to introduce themselves, share the company that they're with, and also how many years they've been in the business. And then they're gonna give us some wisdom. We have some questions that we're gonna ask them, and then we'll take it from there. So let's start with Betty McKean.
Good morning. I'm Betty McKean, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty, and I've been with them for 19 years. Primarily, our market area is here in Frisco, and our specialization are the adult lifestyle communities. One of our worries when we got into this situation was whether or not our clients would be able to fly in here because we do primarily relocation. So we've had to make a lot of adjustments with regard to that. But it's turned out great. We're getting listings and we're getting contracts, and the ball is still rolling.
Thank you, Betty. Mike?
Hi, I'm Mike Record. I'm with EXP Realty. I've been a realtor for 16 years, formerly with RE/MAX for 14. A couple of years ago, we found a better way, for us at least. And my wife and I are both realtors, a husband-wife team. And looking forward to going ahead and helping you guys in any way I can.
Thank you, Mike. Sharon?
Hi, I'm Sharon Apligian with RE/MAX Dallas Suburbs, and I like to say I grew up in the real estate business. Purchased the RE/MAX franchise back in 1999. I had been on the backside, more of the listing coordinating side on a team, family team. So my business primarily is in the Frisco, Allen, Plano, Prosper area. And I honestly can say I have not seen a downturn in my business. My March and April has still been right on track. The good thing is the tire kickers aren't out there. It's the people that are serious about selling and buying. So we're still selling real estate.
Awesome. Amy?
Hi, I'm Amy Clarkson, and I'm with the Clarkson Premier team at Keller Williams. I have a team that exists of myself and my daughter, who's my buyer's agent. And I've been in the business for just about 7 years. And my area of service is West Fort Worth and the surrounding areas to include Granbury.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so the first question, some of you answered it already, but I will ask it just so that you can just add to your answer if you would like to. So the first one is share a little bit about what you're seeing and what adjustments you've had to make, if any, to your business to kind of accommodate the different changes in the market. And we'll go back to starting with Betty.
Well, it's been interesting because this is the first kind of crisis that we've had to live through, and we didn't know what to expect. Many of our listing clients are elderly, so they're shut in and have really had an impact to their 401ks and have a fear factor that's higher than a lot of people. So we had to really weigh how to pursue continuing to show their houses. We wrote them a very detailed letter, a 2-page letter outlining, here are your options, here's the good news, we're not sure what to come, but here's some things that you might expect. Our whole thought as the team kind of brainstormed about this is let's just be upfront and let's be honest, but communicate with them. So we sent out the 2-page letter that said, here's what you can do if we show your house. Here's what we're doing to protect you, and here's what you can do to protect yourselves. We also said, maybe this is a time to consider leasing. We don't know what kind of traffic we're going to have. And then we also said, we give you the option if you want to temporarily take your house off the market, which about 3 people, I think, opted for that, but everybody else stayed the course. And so we weren't sure what kind of traffic we would have. We did several offers the first week of the shutdown, which really kind of shocked us. And then we had a little bit of a lull there. And then this week, it's gangbusters again with offers coming in like crazy from all over. And our people are really just staying strong and positive. And because they understand we're all in this together, they really understand kind of the predicament. So they're handling it very well. But we are over communicating, and we're doing a lot of little touches that are kind of outside the norm. We actually did kind of a fun thing, and we weighed whether or not we'd get any lashback from it, but instead it was very positive. We went to Costco, and they had these little popcorn cones that were Easter colors. We wrapped those up in cellophane. We put a card with it. My partner and I put on bunny ears and went to the door of all the listing clients, stood back. We had a little poem about two bunnies 6 feet apart. It was very sixth grade, and they loved it. They were so glad to see us. And we were real careful. We had gloves on, we had masks, we had the bunny ears. It was hilarious. Everybody said, "Oh, come in, come in." We went, no, we're not going to come in, but we just wanted to see how you're doing. And they wanted to stop and visit with us. So we're doing things like that to kind of keep everybody connected right now.
And that's really a great idea, because I agree with what you're saying. Sometimes it's really our perspective and being positive and creative, that will really help everybody feel more comfortable. And the over communication, I'm an over communicator, I feel like, all the time anyway, but at this time, what a great time to over communicate, to really share and let people know that we're all in this together and it's all going to be okay.
Well, and the other thing is, we're communicating to everybody, because not everybody has that list of essential businesses, that we are considered an essential business and you're an essential client, and that we've got buyers coming all the time. And the thing that surprised us the most is that people are listing their houses during all of this. One of the things we did with one of the clients yesterday, just to be really safe, is he put together a PowerPoint of all the photos in his house. We did a Zoom meeting with him. We did all the comps and individual profiles of properties that he could compare his to, and got it all worked out to get the listing scheduled and do photography. So there's ways to make this business happen while being very safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mike, give us your take.
Well, I believe and agree with the communication aspect. Honestly, let's talk about what I'm seeing. I kind of disagree that we've never seen this before. We've never seen this at this magnitude. But every 4 years during an election, we go through a time of uncertainty in October and November. And people clam up, they shut down, the phones shut down, and it's natural human behavior. Do people stop relocating? Do people stop having the motivation to go ahead and sell or buy? No. So I'm choosing to believe in the optimistic portion here that the floodgates are going to open. What does that mean for us as realtors? Keep talking to people. They are not going to, and a lot of times, want to list, or they want to come off, or want to go out and buy, but just acknowledge that and say, hey, I understand health and family comes first, but when we get through this event, and we will, I want to be your realtor resource or real estate resource, okay? So I'm banking leads. Yeah, it's still a numbers game, getting listings, getting buyers. If you had to talk to 50 people in your sphere to get one, you may have to talk to 100 right now. Mm-hmm. But guess what? We have a tremendous advantage. Your competition is not doing them. A lot of them are in a cave in a fetal ball saying, I can't do anything. That's just not right. We're getting listings. We're getting buyers. We had 2 contracts this week. Okay. One of the easiest ways to overcome with people that you may have an ongoing conversation, say, no, I'm going to wait for this to be over, still call them weekly. And one of the things I'm showing up with, Showing Time, our showing service has a great marketing report that you can show them how many showings were in their zip code or even in their neighborhood in their price class. Okay. So, hey, I know you've heard that, things have come to a stop, all the engines stop. But did you know there were 26 showings last week in your zip code in your price class? That really helps open their eyes and get some people over the fence, okay? So that's how I see it. I think this is a pause bigger than we've ever seen before, but it isn't the end of the world, and we're gonna get over it. And the realtors who keep working and talking to people during this are going to be the first ones in the line, this big backlog that we're going to have with listings to get sold and buyers to find homes with. So keep moving, don't stop.
Totally agree. Sharon, tell us what you're seeing.
Well, to just kind of reiterate with what Betty and Mike have said, there are serious buyers and sellers out there. One of the things that, and I think it was about a week and a half ago, I had a bit of guilt because I have been extremely busy. While a lot of people have been, staying at home, I've been working. I've had one Sunday that I didn't leave my house because I have been, taking listings, working with buyers. And it kind of dawned on me that, there are some people out there that they have an issue with us continuing to work, but we are an essential business, and there are people out there that need to find homes. They're relocating, they're in a lease and they have to get out. They've purchased a new home in the fourth quarter, which is kind of what we do. We get people under contract in new construction in the fourth quarter, anticipating that in the spring, March and April, we're going to put their house on the market and sell it, and we're going to close their house in May, and everyone's, everything's going to work out. So I have quite a few of those people that we had to get their house on the market. And the good news is that we got them on the market and they sold quickly. I have people that within 24 hours, within 3 days, multiple offers. And I keep saying, these are serious people out there. You don't have the looky-loos. No, we're not doing open houses because number one, there are a lot of bored people out there, and we don't want them just coming through your home.
Very good point.
Realtors are not going to be driving people around. Well, actually, we can't drive people around anymore, but they're not going to have people following them around looking at homes unless they are serious buyers. So, everybody's decision, it's a personal decision how you want to, lead and work in this environment. But to sit back and just wait and see, I don't think if you're thinking about selling, now is the time to put your house on the market, because unfortunately, in the next, say, 2 to 3 months, there's going to be more people that are forced to have to put their house on the market. Right now, there's not a lot of inventory out there, and there are a lot of buyers out there that need to buy. So if you're thinking about it, put your house on the market now. That's what I'm sharing with my people. And then, of course, with the buyers, rates are great right now. If you need to buy, then come on, we'll go ahead and we'll find that right home for you. So,
I think Sharon's screen may have frozen just a little bit.
And wait, I don't see the need to do that. We're an essential business, and we can continue to operate.
Amy, share with us your thoughts of what you're seeing.
So we are seeing that there's still properties that are coming on the market every day. Properties are still going under contract every day, and properties are closing every day. The only thing that's different is we are leaning into being virtual as much as possible. Mm-hmm. As soon as we knew we were in this situation, we reached out to the title companies we work with and asked, what is your virtual plan, or what is your plan of action if we do go into a lockdown? How are we going to get things closed? We found our lenders that would be able to do virtual closings if they want to. My daughter is a notary. We checked into how she could become a licensed virtual notary. So if we needed that, we had it. We have 3D tours on our listings so that someone can do a virtual tour of the home. Mm-hmm. And we are actually using those for virtual open houses on our Facebook page. And we very much lean on staying in touch with our current and past clients as much as we possibly can. And we do client events, and we do pop buys and things like that. We did do Easter egging, but we reached out to our clients ahead of time and said, are you okay with us stopping by and putting eggs in the yard for your kids? We wanted to make sure they were comfortable with that. they were, we did it, and they all had a great time. And then we also hosted a virtual ladies night. We played bingo and had a great time with our past clients, just for a way for people to have something to look forward to and do. They had a great time. We're planning one again for next week, just to stay in touch with people. The way I have been telling my buyer's agent is, we right now are working our garden. We're cultivating it. We're reaching out to see, is there anything that we need to do for our people? Is there anything we can do to help offer, let them know what's happening in the market and things like that? Because, you know, eventually they're going to need to buy or sell, or those who do need to make that move now, we're making it happen virtually, doing the virtual listing appointments, virtual buyer appointments, and as much as we possibly can.
Mm-hmm. I love that idea too. I've also heard of some people doing virtual on Zoom. They're doing happy hours, which is kind of fun too. You know, that's a great idea for people to do, to still stay connected and enjoy themselves and have that human kind of interaction, right? But yeah, that's a cool idea. Okay,
yeah, our market center is actually doing, we have three different masterminds a week, depending on what level you are, just to plug in and do, you know, check in and see how things are going. So it's been really good.
Okay, so our next question is going to be directed towards y'all talking directly to realtors, to industry professionals as well. So let's have a words of wisdom. I'll say your top tip for each of you to share when you think back through your career. You know, what would you say to somebody, a newer realtor, who maybe this is the first time that they're experiencing a change in the market, a dip in the market? They're uncertain. They're not sure how their business is going to make it through this, how long this is going to last. So for anybody that kind of has a little bit of fear because they've not lived through it before, what would each of you share? Since y'all have been through at least one, you know, and maybe several. So Betty, let's start with you. And what are your words of wisdom to another realtor?
Well, whether it would be a rookie or a seasoned agent, I think every one of us needs to have one key mastermind partner. I call mine my soul sister. She and I have been masterminding for 30 years. And we get together every Monday now virtually. And that person can help you stay up when you're down and vice versa. But also a great brainstorming, a great spiritual partner, somebody who has words of wisdom when you can't figure it out. And seek that person out. Find that one person that you can stay connected. And this is happening. I need to run this by. What do you think? I'm on the ledge, you know, and share successes and celebrations. Find that one person. The other thing I would say is that right now is a particularly important time to kind of build your spiritual treasure chest and draw from whatever it is that can strengthen your own consciousness and stay out of fear. I'm doing my Bible study groups in doing a virtual Zoom once a week, and they're looking at this book. I didn't know we were going to end that, but I'll share it with you. It's Max Lucado's Anxious for Nothing. And so finding calm in a chaotic world, it's like perfect. And so it really draws us to look at truths and not to be stuck. We can't stay stuck and sit on the couch and watch TV. I think they need to be practical with this time also. Working on their listing packet, their buyer packet, working on systems. We're very systems oriented. And you think because you're stuck in the house, that this isn't what you really want to do. You want to be cleaning out your closet? No, you need to be working on your business. And it's a great time to be taking CE classes. All of you title companies are offering great classes. What an easy way to get those done. So to be creating a to-do list every day about what needs to be done with the business, but what needs to be done to feed the golden goose. And what kinds of books are you reading? And what are you paying attention to? And taking care of yourself.
Totally agree. I completely agree with, this is a great time to kind of, you know, take those CE classes, sharpen your skills, really become better at your craft, right? If now you have more time on your hands than you normally would, so this would be a great opportunity to focus on improvement rather than kind of sit and fade into the background, right?
Yeah, this is not a time for poor me. This is a time to create a state of readiness, because everybody that's spoken is going to really ramp up when the lid is off, and they need to be ready to go.
Right. Mike, share some words of wisdom.
Well, building on that and what I said earlier, I think that I have a thing that I say to my kids, in order to achieve the things that others don't, you have to do the things that others don't. And you guys have still felt the pressure of this, that, oh, there's nothing I can do. You got to buck that. I'd say the number one thing to do is go to work. Keep going to work every day like you were. Stick to that schedule pre this event, okay? Get up, take a shower, walk, run, then take a shower. And then get in and start talking to people. One way or the other, what we're doing long-term as realtors is conditioning our sphere, the leads with expired FISBOs, whatever. We're trying to condition them that when they think real estate, think us, our individual people or brand, okay? And you can't do that without talking to people. So get in, call those lead expireds just like you were. You may have to change your script up a little. You're not going to necessarily crush it and get that appointment this week. You're going to listen to them say, well, we were uncertain, those kind of things. Be sympathetic. Yes, that's what people are saying. And I totally agree that health and family come first. But the killer close question after that acknowledgement is, so after this event is gone, and it will be, do you still plan on moving? Yes. Are you open to a fresh approach and interviewing new agents? You'd be surprised. A lot of people get into those long-term contracts and they don't have the opportunity that we have, that suddenly they took their house off the market in a 6-month contract after only 60 days. There's your window of opportunity. You may not be able to crush it and close right then, but if you at least get in and then talk to them weekly afterwards, you're going to bank that lead and that listing for when this, as you said, lid comes off this thing. So talking to people, if you're new or you're old, hey, people that have been in business for a while, kill your spirit, be on them. Start with, how's your family? Is everyone okay? I wanted to check in on my great clients, right? Hey, by the way, if you have any questions, please use me as a resource. The same thing with expireds. Hey, what they want to know is, when is it going to be over? Offer to be that person who calls them and tells them, hey, there were 20 showings in your zip code last week, okay? They haven't heard that. All they're doing is listening to the news. Well, if we have that many showings, then I could get 1 or 2 a week to come to your house. Would you put your home on the market? That kind of thing, okay? And then for the newbies, biggest thing I hear all the time is, well, I don't have a sphere. Yes, you do. Facebook, get on it. Look at people that you have in there. Private message them if you don't have their phone number. Hey, I just wanted to check in on you and see how things are going. Hopefully everybody is safe and sound. By the way, I'm updating my database. What's your telephone number and address, or email address, right? You're building that database, and then you can start talking to them in person, which is even better, okay? But the key is keep moving, keep doing something. I would get up every morning, go to work, and ask yourself as your daily mantra, how many people can I talk to today? Aim for 5 the first week, 10 for the first, every day the next week. Get it up to 20, okay? And keep talking to people. You're going to have a tremendous advantage. No one else is doing this. I bet you less than 10% of the realtors are doing this. You're going to have a tremendous advantage if you just keep moving forward, okay? And everyone around you is counting on you to be that resource. Who's going to tell them when this event's over? You're going to show them with statistics. You're going to show them, hey, 5 contracts went into contract last week in your zip code. So just keep moving.
Great advice. Sharon?
Well, again, following with what Betty and Mike have said, we're the professional out there. We need to have the positive attitude. You know, I have agents that, you know, I know that they're just sitting back and waiting. And as they're sitting back and waiting, this, you know, they're going to be at the back of the bus. You need to get up, work every day. Don't take, this is not a vacation. We're here to work. Our clients depend on us to get the information to them. You got to be positive. Just remain positive. Like you said, touch your sphere, write those handwritten notes. not everybody's on Facebook, they're inundated with, online webinars, whatever, but people are still going to their mailbox every day. So getting a little note card from you is just going to, I guarantee put a smile on their face. So we're just, we got to go back to some of the basics of just communicating, having a one-on-one, whether it's picking up the phone and talking with them, or like I said, sending out a handwritten note, but just engage, stay in touch with your people. So we'll get through this. And it is going to weed out. It's going to weed out some of the, agents, the part-time ones that, aren't as serious in this business, and which is good for those of us that do this as a, full-time professional, job. So, we'll be there. We'll be there in the end.
Amy?
I would say they pretty much covered everything. One thing I would add is one thing we are also doing is we are interviewing small businesses in Granbury, especially because that's where I started in business, and I have a huge following on a Facebook page there. We've interviewed small businesses and how people can still, buy from them or order from them, so that we can help those small businesses stay in business as well. Looking for ways to add value to people. The great being part of Keller Williams, they offer us a lot of things we can offer to our clients. For instance, we've got a mortgage company with Keller Mortgage, and we also have an insurance company with Keller Covered, and there's ways for our clients to save money. And so I'm just calling saying, okay, I found something else that I can offer you today to help you through this time. Maybe you need to relook and revisit on some of your expenses, and here's a couple of options for you to do that. And so adding that, seeing how else I can help. And then, of course, like I said, the virtual ladies night. Events are reasons for you to touch base with people without necessarily saying it's about the business, because part of it is keeping that relationship strong. And the virtual events that I've done, it gives me an opportunity to touch base with them a couple of times, inviting them, reminding them, and telling them I'm glad they came, or wishing that they could come maybe the next time. People appreciate you staying in touch with them.
Those are all really, really great tips and great advice and you all said really something that everybody can take part in, not just brand new rookie agents and what they should be doing, but really something that everybody can implement and keep that going moving forward. And of course, touching base and staying in communication and building those relationships, that really should be a given for everybody. And, it's really interesting and pretty surprising at the amount of people that actually don't do it. So it's kind of shocking. Okay, so our last question for the day is, some of you have covered it, and I'm actually going to start with Sharon on this one, because you said a little bit about this earlier when we were covering a different question, and you were talking about really the inventory. So what the question is what advice would you give to somebody who's looking to buy or sell right now, and they're a little uncertain, they're on the fence? I really want you to go back to the point that you were making. Do you remember where you were on that? It was when you were talking about inventory is low, and this is a great time to list, because if you wait several months, what might happen later? So I'll let you pick up from there.
Right. Right now, there's the inventory is low, and there's people that do have to buy. Unfortunately, in the coming months, once things settle down, there are going to be a lot of people that have to put their homes on the market because of jobs, whatever. So we're going to see inventory increase, and it's going to be more of, let's say, a buyer's market at that time. There's going to be more inventory out there. So for the sellers out there that are contemplating, should I go ahead and put the house on the market? I say, absolutely, go ahead. Let's get your home on the market now. I have a listing that we had on the market last year, and it did not sell. And it's kind of comical that after we had a situation where Mrs. Seller really wanted to sell, and Mr. Seller wasn't quite as anxious. Well, he's been home for 3 weeks, quarantined, and he was the one that get the house on the market. They're ready. And so the good thing is I had already had the photos and everything from last year. So they did some additional things to the house and put the coming soon sign out. And we are actually under contract without even going active.
Wow.
Just being in the coming soon. Like I said, again, I've had listings that have gone under within 24 hours. I will say this, when you get ready to put your house on the market, it needs to be ready, because the first one through can be your buyer. So go ahead, put your house on the market. Now is the time. And it's going to, continue, but get ahead of the game. Be the first one. Don't be a follower, be a leader in this. And again, we are taking the necessary precautions. Agents are, wearing masks in the house. We're doing the 3D virtual tours. This is something I haven't done a 3D virtual tour in years. It wasn't necessary.
Right.
And now every single listing that I have, we're including that. So there are ways that we're marketing your home that's a little bit different than what we have in the past. But homes are selling, so go ahead, get them on the market.
Mike, what would you share with potential buyers and sellers and they're on the fence and what do you want to tell them?
Well, again, I agree with Sharon, and again, different order of magnitude, but we have been through this. We go through it every year with someone, hey, do you want to list your home in December? Well, I've heard this isn't a good time of year. This is the perception that we go through seasonally. Two things that I usually say on that is, well, have you thought about the advantages you have in the market this time of year? First of all, most of the other listings in your neighborhood have rolled up their sidewalks and pulled up their sign because your kids are in school and they won't or can't move during that time. So more than 50% of your competition goes away in the wintertime. And yes, there are the most amount of sellers and buyers in the summertime, but there's a lot of looky-loos and people that aren't serious too. The buyers that are left for you in the market during the wintertime, those are the reload packages, the reload bubble during, say, November till April. They have to buy. They're more serious. So if you think about it, do an inventory, you have more than half the competition, especially with this event, and more serious buyers. So there's some tremendous advantages for you right now. Now, the thing that after you say that, you're going to have to show them things and back it up with data a little bit to get them on. One of the great analogies that I heard from some mastermind of mine is, hey, think of this like the gates at Disneyland are closed, right? And right now, all the listings are piling up, getting ready to go through those floodgates when this event is over. Do you want to be first in line when the gates open or last in line? Okay. And there really is going to be, and we were headed this way if you guys were really watching the numbers, just before this event, the inventory was down and going down. It was starting to feel more and more like a seller's market again rather than normal. So this isn't just this event. So I agree with Sharon. I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a little bit of a seller's market. Then there's going to be a flood. But you know what? We go through that flood every year in April and May when people finally come when their kids are getting out of school. So advantage, get there first. It's the same message, just order of magnitude different. From a buyer's perspective right now, I think you're going to go through and see a lot of multiple offers and hard to get homes. You're going to hear that same complaint that we heard in the seller's market, at least initially, and then it may smooth out a little bit, okay? But they need to know that there are ways, especially the buyers, that they can still see houses, virtually or otherwise. I've had a colleague that actually will have them pare down to 3 of the top listings they want to go see. He sends his photographer to do the 3D doll house of each one, and then they walk through it virtually. And actually, he's done 2 contracts without ever going into the house because they were able to walk through it. Now, that cost him a couple of $100, but he got the job done, and that's a pretty nice paycheck from him. Okay?
Yep,
so I think you just have to reassure them that there are ways to get it done and that they do have their advantages right in the marketplace right now.
Thank you. Betty.
One of the things that we're doing with our current listing clients is really spending time to educate. And if there is particularly what we call estate homes or the more expensive homes, because we're not getting a lot of traffic there. And so if we do have a sale or sales in our farm area, we have about a 3,000 house farm area here. in similar kinds of properties. We're walking through those property profiles, every room, every picture, you know, did they paint their cabinets white? What have they done and how can you compete better? And what we're asking them to do, we're getting bids for things that they can get done. This is the time to put in hardwood flooring. This is the time to remove those drapes. This is the time to get that garden. All the garden centers are open. Get your yard looking great so that it competes better. So we're doing very specific things with each one of our listing clients. Those, again, mostly in estate homes where they're saying, should we lower the price? Should we lower the price? We're very contrarian with respect to that. We're saying, do not negotiate against yourself. Leave that price where it needs to be because it's very competitively priced already. Let's just wait for this market to come back. The other thing we're doing is we're giving them an overall CMA. Usually we're very specific with our weekly reports with just the category of home that they're competing with. And now we're trying to show them, like others have mentioned from the CSS showing reports, this is what's happening in the overall neighborhood. There are offers coming in. Things are going under contract. Or maybe this week there weren't any. It was slower this week. So they have a sense of control and knowing what's going on. It's sitting in the dark and wondering why and not hearing from your agent, which is the last thing you want to do. So that keeps the line of communication. They're letting me know what's happening because they're feeling disconnected from the real world. I told you we had written a 2-page letter with a lot of detail about what you can expect from buyers, what you can expect from the market, how we're handling things. The great thing for us is that just 2 weeks before, which we noted, ABC had done a survey of 300 homes in the United States, and Frisco was the #1 recession-proof city in the country of all of those. So it's like, folks, we're in this little bubble right now, but believe me, we can come back from this very quickly. So we think that's what's working with the sellers, and they're like, okay, yeah, I can be doing something, not just sitting and waiting. And the buyers, it's just really a repeat of what everybody said. Although the other thing that we're doing in terms of buyers is we're contacting all of our investors and saying, never is there a better time to buy. And of course, with Keller Mortgage, you can really make that attractive also because of the incentives that they have. We have a number of investor buyers here in the neighborhood, and we handle a lot of leasing for them as well. And buyers, we're just following in separate cars and doing it with all the CDC guidelines, and we're making sure they're qualified so that when we have a buyer, we know they're ready to buy, and that's working for us.
Absolutely. Amy, share with us a tip for a prospective buyer or seller that's wondering what to do.
Okay, so they've pretty much taken most everything.
Yeah.
But I think that the key is to make sure you're always asked, is it the right time to buy or is it the right time to sell? And the answer is yes, always, depending on what your plan is. Do you need to make a move right now? Then it's the right time to buy or sell. And we just need to make sure we navigate that market to be a win for you. And just make sure that buyers are fully qualified and that they understand that it may take a little bit longer to purchase sometimes because of some time things that are constraints that are being put on part of the transaction. But for the most part, it's the same. And all those sellers that are waiting until this is over, I think there's going to be an influx of inventory and it's going to change. I think all of the sellers that I've been speaking to for months who are just, I'm waiting till the market goes up. I think the market is up, and you don't really realize when the market shifts until it already has. Mm-hmm. And so they are going to miss out on this opportunity if they don't sell or list now, because they're going to be chasing it later.
Yep, I totally agree. So, with all of the conversation, I think all of it has been really great advice. The number one kind of thing in my mind that keeps sticking out for me is if you're looking to sell right now, get your house ready and get it listed now. That's what I feel like is going to be a huge advantage for anybody that's ready to sell, looking to sell. So, so that concludes all of the questions. Thank you all so much for contributing and for sharing your words of wisdom. If you missed the beginning of this, I just wanted to say who I am. I'm Betty. I'm with Stewart Title. And this is the first of many of a new video series that we will be putting out. And so please continue to watch these video series as they come out. And if you have any questions, you can always send me a message. If there's a particular topic that you might want covered on one of the upcoming videos, you can let us know, and we will be choosing different panels and different industry professionals as we go along. And I do want to mention that I am with Stewart Title, and just like many of you have had to adapt, so have we. And so we are offering a lot of different kinds of options to accommodate the different closing needs. So you can reach out to us. We have several offices all over North Texas. We also have several different sales reps, and you can contact the one in your local area to find out more about what we're doing and what we can do to help get your transaction sold. So thank you all for joining us, and we will look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.